Let me ask you this. When was the last time you checked whether your software vendors could pass even a basic security test? If you can't answer with confidence, you're not alone. Most small businesses never think to vet providers until after a costly breach. In this video, I'll explain why vendor risk is your hidden weak spot and how to protect your business with clear steps that don't require a cybersecurity degree. I'm Kevin, CEO of Sentry Systems. For more than 25 years, we've helped small businesses reduce cyber risk. One of the biggest blind spots I see is the apps and providers you rely on every day get very little security attention. Think about your stack. You might use a cloud CRM to track customers, a platform to send marketing emails, and a billing app for invoices. Each service looks separate, but behind the scenes, they connect. One app uses an integration. Another shares data with a vendor. Soon you have a chain of systems passing sensitive information from one to the next. It keeps the business efficient, but it also expands your attack surface. Here's what most owners miss. Every new connection becomes part of your risk. If one app is compromised, that single weak spot can spill into every linked system. Customer records in your CRM, payment info in your invoicing tool, contact lists in your marketing platform, all of it can be reached through one break. Picture a precision manufacturer in the Midwest with 70 employees. Their cloud CRM sits at the center. It links to marketing for campaigns and to billing for payments. For convenience, they approved a third-party marketing plugin using OAuth. OAuth lets apps talk to each other without sharing a password. It felt safe. That trust opened the door. Attackers compromised the plugin. They used the stolen consent to export customer records through the CRM's API. Nothing looked wrong. Staff still logged in and worked. In the background, large amounts of data slipped out. This kind of breach often hides for months. Now split the story into two versions. In the first, the company used continuous monitoring. A SaaS security posture management system watched their apps. It flagged an unusual OAuth consent from the plugin, then alerted on odd export volumes. Because the warning came early, the team revoked the token, shut off the integration, and contained the incident within hours. No reportable breach, no regulators calling, no angry customers. In the second version, there was no monitoring. No one saw the odd behavior. No one noticed the exports until fraudulent payment attempts showed up days later. By then, customer data was gone. The company filed regulatory notices. Systems were down. The reputation damage was worse than the cleanup bill. The lesson is simple. If you keep live eyes on vendor integrations with tools that spot risky connections and strange data flows, you cut damage fast. Without visibility, problems spread across every linked tool. Vendor risk is not theory. Your supply chain amplifies every weakness. Your technology is only as strong as the weakest connection you allow in. Since an outside vendor can open you up to attack, the real test is this. How quickly can you respond? What if you could stop a supply chain attack in hours before damage spreads? That happens when you have a clear plan before the crisis starts. It's called a third-party incident response playbook, or TPIR. Think of it as your safety net. Instead of guessing while data leaks, you know who acts first, what tools to use, and how communication flows. Without a playbook, most teams scramble. People debate what's happening instead of cutting off access. Leaders delay shutting down apps because they fear making it worse. That hesitation costs days, data, and trust. A TPIR playbook removes guesswork. Quick check-in. What steps has your business taken to vet the cybersecurity of its critical software or service providers? Drop your answer in the comments. I'll be checking them. Here's what a practical playbook includes. First, revoke compromised tokens. Tokens are what apps use to connect without a password. If one is stolen, an attacker has a live key. Next, rotate API keys. Keys act like digital passes. Rotation shuts down stolen access. Then disable the integration that allowed the break-in, whether it's a third-party add-on or a misconfigured connector. Speed matters across email and devices too. Pull vendor-spoofed emails that landed during the attack. Attackers send them to trick staff while access is open. Use email controls to retract those messages before anyone clicks. At the same time, isolate affected computers so malware can't spread. That limits blast radius. Plan the words you'll use. Customers and regulators expect clarity, not silence. A TPIR playbook includes approved wording and contact steps for both. That way, your message is timely and accurate. Waiting until after the breach to draft a statement usually makes things worse. Let's go back to the manufacturer. With a TPIR playbook in place, the minute monitoring flagged unusual exports, the first responder cut the OAuth token. Within the hour, API keys were rotated. The attacker lost access. By day's end, the rogue plugin was removed. Stolen data stayed close to zero. Now picture the same breach without that plan. The plugin stays active for days. The attacker keeps exporting customer files. Staff log in each morning, unaware their CRM is feeding data to a criminal. When fraud attempts and customer complaints finally expose the breach, the damage is severe. This is where Sentry Systems makes the process realistic for small and mid-sized businesses. Our cyber defense engine provides around-the-clock monitoring, alerts tied directly to a ransomware emergency plan. When something happens, you're not relying on guesswork or waking an IT contractor in the middle of the night. You follow a practice sequence designed for speed and control. The outcome difference is clear. With a plan, the manufacturer contained the attack in hours and avoided a reportable breach. Without it, they faced stolen records, fraud attempts, downtime, and a blow to their reputation. So here's the question that matters. How sure are you about your own vendor's defenses? Proactive, layered defense turns chaos into control. It's the line between a near miss and a business crisis. Protecting against supply chain threats doesn't require a technical degree. It does require a practical plan your team can follow when every minute counts. Small businesses that treat security as daily work protect their data, their reputation, and their revenue. The key takeaway is that proactive, layered defense is crucial when dealing with complex supply chain threats. Now that you understand the stakes and the strategies, the final video reveals how you can implement these without the headache.